Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Let There Be Talk. This is a bitchin' edition with me solo on a Friday. Beautiful weather out. I'm finally not sick. I can talk. Yeah! See? I can do that. I can do an 80s metal guy. All right, yeah! Couldn't do that sick. Anyway, how are you guys? Good? I'm all good. Got some shows tonight if you're in LA. I'll be at the Ice House headlining 10 o'clock. And also Comedy Store at 8 o'clock. And what else? Sunday, I'll be at the store 9 o'clock in the original room. Just some shows coming up. And I'm just going to enjoy the weekend because it looks like it's not going to rain for a little bit. Over this fucking rain, man. Crazy. Just rain, rain, rain. Let's see. Is it going to rain again? No rain. It looks like for like 6 days, 7 days. Thank you. Anyway. Just wanted to come on, shoot the shit about some things. Last week, I didn't talk about this because I completely just drew a blank on it because I was just sick. But last Friday night, Brody Stevens, my good friend Brody Stevens, if you don't know him, follow him immediately. Super funny comedian and good friend of mine. Shot his special at the Comedy Store in the main room, and it was an epic night, man. Just magic night. Shot his special for Seeso, and I'm so proud of him, man. It's just going to be so cool to have people see Brody. If you've never seen Brody Stevens do comedy and you come to LA, you must hit the Comedy Store and see this. He is the spirit of old school Comedy Store, just late night lunacy. I love it. Totally outside the box. He usually goes on last in the Sam Kinison spot. It's known as that because Sam would go on last at the store and just stay on as long as he wanted and just get radical. And so that spot has kind of retained its perfect experimental position. You go on in that spot. Sometimes you don't tend to do a regular set. You just go out there and just see what happens. And Brody is a master at it. And I'm pretty excited for people to see what he does. A lot of you know Brody over the years. Of course, he does audience warm-up for many shows he has over the years. He did comedy, lived in Seattle. He also lived in New York, L.A., and played college-level baseball. It's just a great human and super original and just funny. I want to try to figure out. He and I were talking about doing a train tour where we just get on the Amtrak. We start here and then we stop in like Santa Barbara, then like San Jose, San Francisco, then go up to maybe Santa Rosa, then somewhere in like Eugene, Oregon, and Portland and Seattle, all the way up to Vancouver. Kind of like that badass documentary Festival Express. Did you ever see that with the Grateful Dead and Janis and the band and stuff? If you've never seen that, I've talked about it many times. It is awesome. Just some guy back in the 60s wanted to do a Woodstock in Canada and decided to rent a train and have the bands, like instead of one stop, like Woodstock was, just bring that spirit all around Canada. And they filmed it and then shelved the footage for years. It got lost. It never came out. And then like, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years ago, somebody found it and whipped it up, edited it, and put it out. And it was just fucking... It's just incredible. Festival Express, if you haven't seen that. And it would be awesome just to go out with Brody and I and just do a little filming, film like it, film like it. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. Film like it. Go out there and film like in the train and stuff and then the sets. It'd be fun, man. Anyway, look for the Brody special on Seeso. Follow him on Instagram and Twitter. And Periscope. He is the Prince of Periscope. His Periscopes are hilarious. And you can really get a vibe of his comedy. He does put his comedy up on Periscope. Awesome, and I love the guy. Anyway, so look for that on Seeso. What else is happening over the week? For two things. First of all, I had Greg Ken on a couple weeks ago. And if you haven't listened to that yet, get on it. And as Greg Ken and I were talking, we're just, reminiscing about everybody that came out of the Bay Area. It's just incredible, man. The amount of kick-ass music out of San Francisco Bay Area is unbelievable. And we named off a ton of acts, and we didn't even reach any of the metal acts and stuff like that, or the lower, smaller acts. I named a lot of the big acts. But one of the acts we were talking about was Huey Lewis. And it was funny because I posted a sweatshirt up of Huey Lewis in the News on my Instagram, and it was exact to what happened with their record. It's got like 413 likes, this photo of this sweatshirt I put up that I have of Huey Lewis in the News. And it's all different people. And I always say that, every 10 years or so, there's an act that comes out that grabs everyone, and the record just fucking takes off in all personalities and races and vibes of people. It'll just grab everybody, like Michael Jackson Thriller or Purple Rain. That thing grabbed rockers and R&B people and country western fans, and everybody was listening to Thriller and Purple Rain. And Adele, everybody jumps on Adele, loves that. Looks like Sturgill Simpson now. All these records over the years, if you look at Back in Black was played in country bars, is played in rock bars, is played in the mall. You'd walk around the mall, you'd hear Shook Me All Night Long. Just records that take on its own thing and sell beyond like what you would ever imagine. Like I'm talking records that sell 10, 20, 30 million. Well, another record like that was Def Leppard Hysteria, where just everyone owned it. It was like a record you had to have, It was, just imagine that. You make a record and all of a sudden everyone owns it. Not just one group of people, just everyone owns it. That is like when you become next level superstar, And Huey Lewis was definitely one of those guys. And so it ran me down the rabbit hole because I was in the Bay Area when Huey Lewis was pre-sports and after sports. And it's amazing to think Huey Lewis was a lot like Greg Ken and YNT and Eric Martin Band and all those guys that were just out every weekend playing all the clubs all over, Santa Rosa, Marin County, Uncle Charlie's, New George's, then the Stone and Keystone Palo Alto and Keystone Berkeley, and then San Jose, the Cactus Club and San Bruno, just all these spots. That was their gig, man. They worked every weekend playing rock and roll, writing songs, demoing, playing some covers, whatever. They played rock and roll. All these bands I talk about. And they made a living doing it. And it's funny. And then Huey Lewis, of course, they're playing this club, Uncle Charlie's, which was in Corte Madera, which I would love to see a documentary on Uncle Charlie's. Everyone played this place. It was just a little shitty club in a strip mall in Corte Madera that just was packed every night. It was crazy. This lady opened this club. I forget her name. And just every night. It would just be a scene. And that's during like 80s, like cocaine and rock and roll, and everybody would just be out. Corvettes. There'd be Corvettes in the parking lot, and this club really, really was just a cool rock and roll hangout. Huey Lewis played there quite a bit, along with New George's. Anyway, there they are. They're out playing. And, their first record does okay. Which, by the way, I ran down the rabbit hole. Huey was in a band called Clover, which I knew but never saw because they broke up in 79. But they were kind of a blues rockin' band, and I never knew this, which is absolutely crazy. Mutt Lange produced both Clover's records. They signed a record deal, and Mutt Lange produced their records in like 77, 78. That is incredible to think about. Let's see, like what year was that actually? I'm going to look it up real quick because that's right, that's right when Mutt starts working with AC/DC, Highway to Hell. So a couple years before, you got to think, he's doing Clover, Huey Lewis' Clover, which is insane to think about how both of them eventually explodes. And they re-meet up again later, which I'll tell you about. Anyway, Huey, of course, a harmonica player, awesome harmonica player, bounced around Europe, hitchhiking around, playing harmonica, ends up playing on Thin Lizzy's 78 record, Live and Dangerous. How crazy is that, right? It's just like, I played harp on Thin Lizzy's record, which is another band that does not get enough glory. And I've talked about that over and over. I don't need to hear Boys Are Back in Town or Jailbreak ever again. Play the deep cuts. Thin Lizzy is so fucking great. Anyway, so, they get together. They work on their first record. They got they got a song that Mutt Lange pens for them, Do You Believe in Love, which does number 7. Remember that one? Do you believe in love? Crazy. Mutt Lange coming back again, writing a track for him that goes to number 7 on the charts. And then they got a little bit of success there. I remember hearing that all the time on K-Fog up in the Bay Area. Then they dropped Sports in 1983, which just fucking explodes, man. I mean, like Sports, like I said, it doesn't matter what kind of music you're into. This thing was fucking, it had like 7 hits on it. The Heart of Rock and Roll, Heart and Soul. I like this one. Sometimes bad is bad. Do, 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 do. Remember that one? I Want a New Drug. Walking on a Thin Line's my favorite on the whole record. Finally Found a Home. If This Is It. That was a big one. If This Is It. And then a couple tunes at the end that didn't make it. Wow. I mean, bummer. 7 fucking hits on the record. But You Crack Me Up and Honky Tonk Blues. I don't even know how those go, because I probably rarely ever made it past the first 7 fucking hits. And the cool thing about Huey Lewis and the News, the Sports record, it never really grew bad. It was like some records you hear so much, you're like, oh, enough of that. But Huey Lewis and the News Sports record, just insane. I see them all the time. They would like sing the national anthem at the 49er games. They were all over the Bammies, all that shit. Just Bay Area gods, man. Of course, being on Back to the Future. Just killing it, man. I probably never, ever had to work again from that record alone. Ever. Insane. It sells right now. I'm sure it sells right now. Let me look up what the total sales on this thing was. Let's find out. I mean, God, I'd love to know. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, here it is. It sold over 30 million. 30 million albums, man. One fucking record. 30 million. You know what that means? Just fucking rich. Unbelievable, man. Here's a funny thing I didn't know. Of course, after you do a record that fucking big, you can only go down, right? Like, what are you gonna do? But no, they kill it with the next record, 4, and Bruce Hornsby wrote a song for them, Jacob's Ladder, and it went number 1. And then they had that Power of Love. Just incredible, man. Huey Lewis. It's fun to go down that rabbit hole and just be like, oh my God, all the shit. I never even knew, man. The guy like basically hitchhiked around Europe just playing harmonica, trying to figure out what he wanted to do in life. Pretty fucking cool. But man, Huey Lewis in the news. There it is, man. Go fire it up this weekend. Throw it on. It's just, it's a classic. It is a classic. What else here? I was going to talk a little bit about, let's see, what else do I got for you guys? How are you guys? You guys been good? I wanted to give a shout out to Chris Bloomberg, who gave a donation to the podcast. Thank you, my man. Thank you so much. All Them Witches has a new record out today, and I can't tell you enough about this band. If you have not heard All Them Witches yet, I've been talking about it for a while. They're out of Nashville, and they are absolutely killer. They've been around since 2012, but I just found out about them about a year ago with the Lightning at the Door record, which is just phenomenal. If you're into, desert rock, a little Caius, a little Doors, a little Morphine. They sound a lot like that band Morphine. A very original band. I can't wait to see them. They're coming to L.A. pretty soon, and hopefully they'll do the podcast. They said they would. I'm hoping that happens. But Lightning at the Door, if you need to get right in to see what they sound like, check out tracks, what I would say, 5 and 6. Charles William and the Death of Coyote Woman. Check those 2 out, but really get into the new record out today. The new record is phenomenal. Sleeping Through the War. And I'll throw one of the tracks on at the end of this podcast. Sleeping Through the War. This record is smoking, man. And I love this band. Everybody's always asking me what I'm listening to. And I was really shouting out Rival Sons the last couple of years. But now, man, there's just so many good bands. I gotta share it all that I can with you guys. Quaker City Nighthawks, still rocking those guys. Still rocking Car Seat Headrest. Great band. I'm going to see those guys. They're coming to L.A. But get with this All Them Witches. It is phenomenal, man. The record today, I listened to it today at the gym, and I was like, God, this record is great. It's like Road Warrior music. You know, like you'd picture this soundtrack on the next Road Warrior movie. Just out there killing it. So fucking good. Check it out, All Them Witches. I'm getting ready to watch the Oscars on Sunday. Believe it or not, I do watch the Oscars. I do enjoy it. I love movies and film, and I'm hoping Moonlight wins everything. I still haven't seen La La Land. I need to get to the movies more often. I try to go every Tuesday, and then just shit happens. But I'm hoping that I can get to the movies and see Fences. I need to see La La Land and a couple others. I've seen most of them that are up for Academy Awards. But Moonlight is definitely my favorite film of the year, and I'm so glad that movie got made. I just found out that Brad Pitt had a lot to do with getting that film made, which is cool. Hats off to him, man, because original movies are hard to get made these days, man. I just read they're going to remake Scarface for the 3rd fucking time. Come on, man. You know, Scarface was made in the 30s about booze, which is cool. Nobody saw that probably, you know, and and they took Scarface in the 80s and made it original and one of the all-time classics. And now you're going to do it again. I mean, come on. I'm just fearing that they're going to do Jaws. And if they do Jaws, whew, man. I mean, what the fuck are you guys doing out there? People play it so safe. I look at Moonlight. I was talking to somebody about this last night. I look at Moonlight, and let's look at films that I've loved in the past, like There Will Be Blood, No Country for Old Men. These films that are crazy original and smoking good, and you think, well, shit, of these scripts, there's got to be thousands of these scripts out there that aren't being made because no one will take a shot, you know? And I mean, that's the only way classics get made, if you take a risk. Who wants to see fucking, it's like network TV. That's why I just ate a dick, man. 7,000 CSIs and bad sitcoms and 4 million doctor shows. And, you know, it's you gotta take a risk. And I'm hoping Netflix, I'm hearing they're going to start making movies. And I'm really hoping that we start seeing some next level art from Netflix, you know? Those guys are just doing great shit. Which, by the way, I got to see that. I'm going to try to see that over the weekend, the Eagles of Death Metal documentary, which is out. I can't wait to see that, man, because I heard it's incredible. And that's just a tragic event, man, that is tough for me to even think about. And I can't even imagine being in the band and all the people that were there and what, you know, and the people that lost their lives and the families. This is just fucking horrible. So I got to watch this this documentary, man. I heard it's heavy as shit. Ooh, Eagles of Death Metal playing the Palladium April 20th. I got to go to that. Wow, that's going to be great. Anyway, try to see this documentary. It's on Netflix now. And I know it's going to be great. First of all, they're great, you know, and I've got to see that. Shit, what was I just talking about? Oh, yeah, I was just talking about Netflix. Anyway, how great is that? Just signed Louis C.K. on to do 2 specials. So look at all this great comedy we're going to get. We're going to get Chappelle. We got Burr's F is for Family coming back out for season 2. We got Chris Rock. Some specials, Seinfeld with the comedians and cars, and some specials. Now Louis C.K. And I mean, God, this is just great. What a great age to be living in. Just, you know, just to be able to watch all this good stuff. Especially me, like on the road. I just fire it up on the computer in a hotel room, watch something, or on a flight. Don't have to sit at home anymore and wait. Thursdays at 8 o'clock, my show's on. Hilarious. I remember when band members would say that. Can we not rehearse on Thursday? My show's on. It's like, no, you're out of the band. Unbelievable. My show's on. This is a great era now. Just fucking watch shit and then blaze. Binge watch it. Get the fuck out. I got some other good stuff coming up. Let's see some guests coming up here on the podcast. You're going to be loving Let There Be Talk in the next few weeks. Some amazing stuff coming up, man. I don't want to give it away yet, but you guys are going to be loving some of these guests. And, I saw Ryan Adams a couple days ago. Everybody's talking about his new record, The Prisoner. A great record. Some of the songs are really good. At first I listened to it. I was like, I don't know. But then I saw the songs live and I saw them on Fallon. And I was like, shit, this record's good, man. Ryan always has some like 3 or 4 just crusher songs, man. I mean, it's just amazing. Like each record, he'll just have like that song right now, Do You Still Love Me? That fucking song is great. So I saw him at Amoeba which, by the way, thanks to Heidi the landlord for getting me in. And his new band, if he's headed out on tour, and if he's coming your way, go see it. His new band is fire, man. I don't know who the guys are, but they were all fucking great. And the drummer was smoking, man. I tell you. And they did a version of Peaceful Valley that was about 12 minutes long, and it had like this muscled up version of like a Grateful Dead jam in it that was just mind-boggling, man. And Ryan sounded great. Of course, I get a lot of tweets and emails. Hey, you should have Ryan on. Yeah, I know. If I knew how to get him on, he said he would do it a couple of years ago, and then ended up not doing it. We were supposed to have our epic pinball battle, and then it didn't happen. But believe me, I'd love to have him on, man. Talk the Dead, talk, all his records, talk guitars, Los Angeles, New York, everything with him. But most of all, I'd like to talk to him about, he had some ear problems, and now he seems to be totally fine. I wanted to ask him about that because he had some kind of serious problem with his ears that was fucking up his health. And there's nothing worse than ear problems when you're a musician. Man, so he seems to be in great health, good spirits, and he killed it. He did a 9-song set at Amoeba. And usually people at Amoeba only do 3 or 4 songs. He played like over an hour and was just smoking, man. So check him out on the road. His band is great. He was also on Fallon last week. You can watch both those songs on Fallon, Jimmy Fallon's website. What a rocker. Before I go, let's see. I hope you guys have a great weekend. This episode is brought to you by El Cajon Harley. El Cajon Harley Davidson, a fantastic sponsor, almost a year now sponsoring the podcast. Just great Harley Davidson dealer. If you need to get a motorcycle, don't go anywhere else but El Cajon Harley. It doesn't matter where you live. They'll pick you up at the airport. You can ride that thing home. It's going to be a fantastic summer. I got my brand new Milwaukee 8 2017 Road King, and I don't even look at motorcycles anymore. This bike is so great. I don't even care about anything else. I just get on it and go, this is the one. Go see them. They've got all kinds of great things happening always at the dealership. They got a big selection of motor clothes, excellent service department. They put my whole bike together. It looks great. I got some ape hangers on there. I'm out and about rocking it. They got a killer Instagram and Twitter. My boy Greg Riley will take care of you. They got finance in there. They will not be beat on tire prices. And they love comedy. How cool is that? Comedy and rock and roll and Harleys all in one right there. Go see El Cajon Harley. Tell them I sent you. Or maybe you just want a used bike or get your bike serviced. Go in there and see them. Southern California's best Harley Davidson dealer, El Cajon Harley. A couple things before I go. I got some shows coming up. I'll be back in Denver. And I hope some of you guys make it out that missed me. I'll be at the Comedy Works April 26th through the 30th downtown. That's my favorite club on earth. Also, Ontario Improv Easter weekend, first time headlining there. I can't wait to do that. April 13th through the 15th. And Irvine Improv, March 9th, I'll be headlining. And then if you're going to see Bill Burr at the San Jose Improv, I'll be opening those shows March 20th through the 22nd. So get there early. Don't miss me. And some other great dates coming up under keeping it undercover here. Thank you guys all for your support. I'm feeling better. Thanks for the cool emails asking me if I'm feeling better. 100% almost there. And yeah, man, watch out for that fucking flu. You get it. Stay in. I didn't stay in. Anyway, keep the candles lit. And subscribe and rate and review the podcast. I love you guys all. We'll see you Monday. It's going to be a good one. See ya.
sleeping through the war. Cash in the broken hands. Pockets seen better scores. I built a house like this. I'm sleeping through the war. I'm married to my boredom. No man afraid of gore. I'm driving round